So I'd like to begin today in English by congratulating the new ministers for their roles. It's literally a 1 in a million opportunity. I think they have 40 ministers in total, and there's about 41 million people, so it's literally 1 in a million to be a minister, and a big accomplishment to get to that place. The Conservatives will take our role of holding the government accountable seriously. That doesn't mean we reflexively oppose everything the government does. When it comes, for example, to foreign affairs, if the government does a good job at defending our national interests in negotiations with the U.S., then we will support those efforts. When they're right, we'll stand with them. When they're wrong, we will oppose them. We hope the country succeeds. We want the nation to do well. We ran on the promise.
Again, I spoke about it before, like, yes, it's politics, you're either blue or red nowadays, right? Like, people remember when it was all about compromises, like, if both parties would work together, we would have a great country again. But unfortunately, that's not what's going on right now. But anyway, no one wants the country to fail. No one wants the Liberal government to fail, because if the Liberal government fails, it means country itself fails. We all want it to get better. So we all want Liberals and Mark Carney to do something good. We don't want to see them fail, because when they're failing, it means that us, the normal people, will suffer even more. I mean, it would be good to have another election and get this guy, Pierre, to be a prime minister. But again, right now, we don't want anyone to fail. Because if they fail, Canada will fail. And it's not going to be good for us. It's not good for us now, but we don't want it to get worse, right?
Of bringing home Canada's promise. A very simple deal that Canada used to provide, which is that anyone who works hard gets a great life in an affordable home on a safe street under our proud flag.
You know what would be great? I know Mark Carney is taking a lot of example from Donald Trump right now, even though he said he's going to fight against him, and they villainized Donald Trump so much. I wish he went with no tax on overtime. Can you imagine? Can you imagine those paychecks? And that would be literally what Pierre Poilievre's talking about, right? Like, you work hard, which kind of means you take overtime, and you're going to bear the fruit of it. It would be great, because right now I'm working overtime and CRA is taking most of it. So, yeah. I wish he took the inspiration from US a little bit.
That means boosting the buying power of our workers and seniors by cutting wasteful spending and bureaucracy to bring down taxes and inflation. It means freeing workers and businesses to build more affordable homes and develop resources. It means unleashing investment by cutting and simplifying taxes. It means protecting our streets with stronger laws and borders. Canadians cannot afford more high-spending, high-taxing, over-regulating, out-of-touch Liberal policies that have priced young people out of homes, inflicted crime waves on our communities, driven 2 million people to the food bank, and made life unbearable for too many hardworking and decent people. In his first press conference, Mr. Carney talked a good game about reversing Liberal policies in these areas, but now we have to find out if he was serious. And so far, it's not a promising start. The first disappointment is, unfortunately, his cabinet. He appointed Trudeau's old team and Trudeau's old advisors. Stephen Guilbeault, whose radical green agenda would shut down all future developments in our resource industry, is still the minister responsible for Quebec. Sean Fraser was the immigration minister who caused the immigration crisis, the housing minister who gave us the housing crisis, and now he's the minister responsible for addressing the Liberal crime crisis.
You know what's ridiculous? I don't know that minister, but just knowing that he was responsible for immigration and for housing, if you look around, if you look at the numbers, you know it's true what Pierre is saying. Because the immigration, they put a cap on PRs, not even the temporary residents, but PRs, 400,000 a year. Do you think they build houses so those permanent residents are able to get the housing and it doesn't affect the citizens or anyone else? No, they did not. They let the housing market to get completely out of hand. And now the affordability is a big issue. And it's not only for the people who are looking to buy the house, but even for people who bought the house. It's just ridiculous. So just knowing that this person was the Minister of Immigration and Minister of Housing, he did the bad job.
It seems like he is the master at failing upward.
Oh,
Chrystia
yeah.
Freeland, who as finance minister hiked capital gains tax and carbon taxes and massively grew our debt to the point where we now spend $1 billion a week on interest, stays in the cabinet. Then there's Gary Anadesangari, the new Minister of Public Safety, who said the actual crimes, the actual issues around bail are quite sound, and they are embedded in, codified in law right now, as in to say that there's nothing wrong with the system. Well, in fact, there's everything wrong, as we see from the growing crime wave on our streets. Then there's François-Philippe Champagne, Trudeau's Minister of Everything, who never really managed to do anything. And he did it very loudly.
Well, is there a Minister of Everything? I don't want to sound dumb, but is it? Or is it just that he had so many jobs so that Pierre calls him Minister of Everything? But yeah, it's funny. And it's like, what happened with some requirements for being a minister, right? Like, tell me how can you go from Minister for Immigration to housing? Like, shouldn't you have some experience in the field? Or
But nice guy. I'll give him credit. He's a nice guy. But he was the Minister of Industry, during which we had the worst economic growth of any country in the G7. And now he's in charge of the budget. Then there's Joly, LeBlanc, Haidu, Anand. Anand was the president of the Treasury Board, during which time the bureaucracy and the consultant bills blew out of control. In all,
dude, we need Elon Musk. We need Elon to come and clean it up. Isn't he Canadian? Does he have a Canadian citizenship? Let's vote Elon for Prime Minister. I think he would agree cleaning Canada for, I don't know, 6 months, and then we can maybe afford the living. Yeah, I bet he would agree, and he would clean it up.
14 Trudeau ministers are now in Carney's cabinet. It's more of the same when Canada needs real change. Even the new additions are problematic. Gregor Robertson was the mayor of Vancouver, who pushed for total legalization of hard drugs, distribution of tax-funded opioids. During his time there was a 600% increase in overdoses. Now he's the housing minister. Well, what's his record on housing? Well, he increased housing taxes in Vancouver by 141%, and the result was that housing costs went up by 149%, more than doubling the costs and giving Vancouver, his city, the most expensive housing prices in all of North America. Now, Mr. Carney puts this gentleman in charge of housing. If this is the new blood that Mr. Carney is bringing into the cabinet, then sadly for Canadians, nothing is going to change, and the role of the Conservative Party will be more important than ever. Conservatives will continue to push real solutions. We'll put forward constructive ideas to reverse the housing crisis, make food affordable, and grow our paychecks. And these sorts of things cannot be solved with more bureaucracy and liberal laws. We need common sense results, and that's why Conservatives will continue to push for less spending, less taxes, less inflation, to lock up criminals, remove bureaucracy, speed up home building and resource production. We need to put forward real solutions on crime, for example, to toughen up penalties for repeat violent offenders and end the revolving door of broken bail.
Yeah.
We will also demand the government actually impose a real cap on immigration so that we can stop the uncontrolled population growth that has put too much pressure on our housing, job, and healthcare systems. Finally, and most importantly, the only way we get out of this deep economic trouble the Liberals have got us into is by unleashing economic growth. And that means repealing anti-development laws, C-69, the energy cap, the industrial carbon tax, the offshore shipping ban. All of these things need to be reversed so that we can unleash the incredible power of our resources.
Okay, I have a question. So I guess all of you guys know how Alberta's fighting back and how they're thinking about separation from Canada, right? Let's say they do not separate. Let's say Daniel Smith will negotiate with Ottawa. Let's say we have a opportunity to up our oil and gas production, build some more pipelines. Do you think Ottawa will still steal the money from Alberta? Even after Daniel Smith would have to fight for all of these new opportunities? I bet they would. I bet they would bear the fruit of this, even though they were completely against it. Man, I hope if she negotiates anything like that, she's gonna negotiate as well that it's gonna stay within Alberta. Like, I'm sorry, it's those welfare payments are ridiculous. Like, yes, we are one country. Yes, the provinces should help each other. But how ridiculous it is that you have one rich province sponsoring everyone else, and in the end that rich province will pretty much become poor province. It's ridiculous. Like yeah.
We need a pro-growth, free enterprise agenda to take us from the worst in the G7 to the best in the G7.
Yeah.
We should be the richest country in the world with our resources and our brilliant people, and Conservatives will continue to propose real solutions to make that happen. It's our constitutional duty to hold the government to account, and we will do that. We'll give a voice to all the voiceless, those who've been cast aside, ignored, kicked to the curb, the decent, honorable people whose lives have been turned upside down in the last decade, that feel like they've had, until recently, that they've had no voice. They've asked me to continue to fight for them, and Conservatives are going to be their voice on the floor of the House of Commons. We're proud that we brought together the biggest coalition of Conservatives in history that will all work. We want to make sure that every single person who vested their hopes in us sees us fighting for them every day, even though the final result did not go how we wanted. We want to see dramatic changes, not soft reassurances. We also have an offer to make the Liberals. My message to Mr. Carney: steal my ideas. We've got great ideas. And we've been leading the charge on the debate over carbon taxes, inflation, housing prices, crime, drugs, resource development. And I note the Liberals even lifted a few of those ideas and put them in their platform to get reelected. We want to make sure that they were sincere about that. We're going to continue to put forward solid ideas to make people's lives better every day. Because our purpose is to bring home the promise of Canada, that everyone who works hard gets a great life, that anyone from anywhere can do anything, where you get a nice, affordable home on a safe street. Every day and in every way, we will fight for our people and our country to put people back in charge of their lives with bigger paychecks, abundant, affordable energy, home ownership, low taxes, safe streets, and a strong military in the country that we know and love, Canada. Thank you.
In 2021, Justin Trudeau.
Yeah, no, definitely a good message from Pierre Poilievre, and it's good to see
I'd like
that.
to begin today.
It's good to see that he's not gone, that he's still willing to fight for Canadians. Just one thing I kind of don't want to say disagree about that. Canada is not going to be the richest country in the world. However, we can be the second richest country. And it's ridiculous that we're neighbors to US and we're first world country, right? We have all of these resources and we are worse than G7 in the growth. Really? like we had the strongest ally. I know right now the relationship's not the greatest with US, but we should have been right up there with US. We should have been number 2 richest country. Our GDP growth should have been crazy. And instead of that, what happened under the Liberal government? We're worse. It's ridiculous. And yeah, like I really hope President Trump will rub a little bit on Mark Carney, and we're gonna find the right track to become the second richest country in the world, to improve the quality of life of Canadians and affordability and everything like that. So yeah, fingers crossed. So far, it looks like Mark Carney is doing exactly opposite to what he promised. If you remember, he promised he's going to fight the US, he's going to shut down the 51st state talk, he's going to make a deal about the tariffs. He's not doing that. Instead of that, he's collecting some brownie points from President Trump, and he's signing fake executive orders because, as you know, Canada doesn't really have executive orders. Like, he's not president of Canada, he's prime minister. Whatever he signs, it still needs to go through some approval of some ministers and everything. We have something like executive orders, but it's not called executive orders. But yeah, like visually, Mark Carney looks like he's trying to look like President Trump. So hopefully he's gonna steal some of his ideas as well, and maybe I'm joking about it, but maybe he's gonna make Canada great again.